Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Let's Vibe, the channel all about crystals and our feelings. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about something a little different, actually, maybe a lot different. Um, and I'm not going to introduce a new crystal in this video. I wanted to talk about other things in Mother Nature that carry vibrations, specifically trees. Now, when you start getting into metaphysical practices, like crystal healing and or Reiki, any kind of energy healing, you you're inevitably going to hear or read a lot about Mother Earth and Mother Nature because that's where these crystals come from. And that's where this energy is often sourced, is from Mother Earth. And that's where we ground our energies, we ground ourselves in Mother Earth. And the basic principle of metaphysical practices is that everything is energetic. Everything holds a vibration or carries a vibration, even synthetic things. And living things obviously have a vibration. Plants have a vibration. Animals have their own vibrations. Human beings radiate and carry their own unique vibrations. And I've read and heard a lot about connecting with Mother Nature, the importance of that. And, I didn't really, I've always had a love for nature, a love for animals specifically, but I've never been like an outdoorsy kind of person. Um, I've I've camped many times over the years, but I've never really enjoyed camping. And for whatever reason, I'm not big on hiking. It's not something I do very often. Although the one outdoor activity that I can say I really love and do fairly often is swimming. I love going to the beach, going swimming, and I guess that's my preferred method of connecting with nature. Swimming in lakes, swimming in the ocean. I love it. But, you know, obviously, being a white person in America, I did not grow up being taught how to connect with the earth. You know, that's not part of American society, at least not white American society. Um, and so that concept was foreign to me. How do I connect with the trees and the animals and the plants? How do I connect with a tree? I know intellectually that these trees have their own vibrations and they are powerful living beings because many trees are hundreds, if not thousands of years old. And that carries tremendous energy, that carries energetic wisdom, it carries healing power, or it can at least. Um, how do you connect with it? And, excuse me. So, I have a really nice park that is just across the street from my building here in Honolulu. And I like to go outside. I like to walk through that park. If I'm going to the beach, if I'm doing some errands, I always like to go through that park because it's a really nice park. It's got a lot of different trees, a lot of really big, shade providing trees, and a nice variety. And being in Hawaii, we have, more tropical uh, varieties of trees. And so I started, I wanted to really uh, invest in a solid connection with Mother Earth. I really wanted to tap into this vibration and energetically communicate with a tree or the trees. So I would walk through the park. I would put my hand on the trees, any tree that I was passing by, and I would just try to pick up on something. And at first, the first few times, nothing, I didn't really notice anything. And I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing anyway. Like, how do you approach a tree? um, and really, it's the same way that you approach a crystal or a stone. Um, it's all about approaching with your intuition, with your third eye open, with your heart activated or open to some degree at least, because I do think, earth energy and heart energy, um, especially with other living beings, that it works together. But and the trees themselves, the vibrations out there in Mother Nature can help you open up those different chakras, as I soon would find out. So I finally, um, I think it was online on YouTube. I asked a question of a spiritual type person, professional, how do you connect with the trees? And the answer was really so obvious. Tune into the subtle energies, go up to the tree, touch it. What do you notice on a subtle level? Quiet yourself and tune in to the subtleties. Each tree communicates in its own different way. They all have their own vibrations, and they all have their own stories and information to share. So I took that and I went back into the park, and I did just that, and it worked. um, and so I wanted to talk about the very first tree that I really was able to fully connect with, the energies of that tree and what that felt like. So the tree that I first made my very first connection with, uh, is a Norfolk pine. Now these are pretty common here in Hawaii, but the Norfolk pine is endemic to Norfolk Island, or Norfolk Pine Island, or Norfolk Island. And Norfolk Island is found, directly east of Australia between New Caledonia and New Zealand. And it's an Australian territory, but it's a very small island, and that is the home of the Norfolk pine. And so, uh, I decided I would do a little bit of reading, little research about this tree before I, get into the vibrations of it. But this tree, it's a very interesting looking pine tree. It's not your average pine. It has different leaves, or, yeah, it's not needles. It's a form of it's a leaf, but evergreen. Anyway, one of the first things that I learned about this pine is that this pine, it grows on this little island right along the shore, And even in the face of incessant offshore winds, the Norfolk Pine stands straight. Now, when I read that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because let me tell you, one of the first, there were two, sorry, getting a little too excited about this pine tree. Um, there were two things that I immediately noticed when I first connected to the energies of this tree. The first was that this pine tree stimulates the crown chakra like no other. As I was standing beneath the lowest branches of this Norfolk pine in the park nearby, I felt my crown chakra just expand like crazy. And it felt like refreshing of energy. It felt like energy was moving in a refreshing sort of way. And but that crown chakra, my crown chakra was just like blazing. So that was the first thing I noticed when I connected to its energies. The second thing, and this is related to the fact about these trees standing straight even in the face of constant winds, I felt like I was standing tall. It was this feeling of like being pulled up just a little bit so that you're standing tall, your back is straight, your shoulders are level, like boom, grounded and standing tall. And nothing's gonna move me, nothing's gonna bend me. That was the exact feeling that I have every time that I touch one of those Norfolk pines. It's that sense of like being pulled up and just being held straight, being grounded, and then that crown chakra just crazy. Another very interesting fact is that, the branches of this pine tree grow in a, they grow on levels, if you can imagine, like levels where, and each level is like a plane. Um, and if you were to look like from a bird's eye view down onto a Norfolk pine, you would see each level of branches, each plane is shaped like a pentagon. So it's a five-sided shape. And I think that's really fascinating. The pentagon is related to the pentagram, the five-pointed star, which connects to each of those points in the pentagon. But if you think about the pentagram and what the five-pointed star represents, it represents all of the elements, including spirit. And, that might have something to do with why the Norfolk pine resonates so strongly with the crown chakra. Uh, it's the symbol of magic, basically, bringing together all of these elements to create something. And so that was my very first experience, like strong, undeniable, energetic experience with a tree. And it was kind of mind blowing. But at the same time, it made sense because everything has a vibration, everything is made of energy. And these trees are old living beings. And, you know, this is something that indigenous people have known for millennia, and white people are, white people have been so, I guess, just disconnected from it all, disconnected from Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and it's not hard to see if you just taking a look at Western society's relationships with the earth, with our environment. It's not hard to see why we have trouble connecting to Mother Nature. Um, but yeah, this is not something new. This is something many people have known for a very, very, very long time. But better late than never, right? Yeah, I encourage everyone to go out and try to establish that kind of connection, an energetic connection to their environment, to the Mother Nature around them. Give it a try. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy any stones or crystals. You don't have to buy any magic wands. You don't need anything. You can just go outside, find a really nice, preferably a big older tree. I've noticed that with younger trees, the energy is like they're young. They're it's like a baby or something. It's different. So you want to you if you when you're starting out at least, you really want to look for like a big old tree with, a long branches or a thick trunk, and you know that a tree like that is going to have some energy to share. And yeah, just remember to be still and tune into that inner voice, that subtle energy. And let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever tried this or what your experiences have been. And once again, thank you so much for vibing with me, and thank you for stepping with me into ever weirder topics like communicating with trees.